Now what is abstraction? Okay, so abstraction is the process of hiding internal details of the application from outer world. Okay, so let us take one example. So you have so let us take one example. Okay, so you have a car. Okay, and in car you have uh, within car you have engine. Okay, you have wheels. Okay, and you have many more things, right? But you do not, you don't know. Okay, you don't know internal details of your engine. Okay, what and all there is in engine, what and all there is in wheels, what and all there is in speedometer inside. You don't know all those things, right? So you just know that okay, there is something called as engine, there is something called as wheels. Okay, or let us take one more example. Oh yeah, so I'll take that another example as well. But so this is very basic example. You don't know what are the inside into my engine, what are the inside into my wheels, what is inside into my speedometer, right? So you are completely blind about that, right? So abstraction is a kind of similar concepts. Okay, it is just a kind of hiding the implementation detail from outer world. Okay, I'll demonstrate this exactly. What does this mean? So why it is used? It is used to create the boundary between your application and the client program. Okay, so yeah, I'll explain this again. A Java abstract class is used to provide the common methods implementation to all subclasses, or to provide the default implementation. Okay, let us take one more example. You have some banks. Okay, we have banks. Okay, so let us take an example. In India we have Reserve Bank of India, and Reserve Bank of India, let us say Reserve Bank of India have created one class. Okay, so Reserve Bank, so all my other banks like my uh, SBI, my Axis Bank, uh, my ICICI Bank, right? So all other banks will be following whatever regulations RBI has given. Okay, now what and all bank performs. So RBI wants to clearly say that okay, each and every bank should perform the process of deposit, should perform the process of withdrawal, provide interest. Okay, and should open fixed deposit. So and many more. Okay, so let us say my RBI has clearly given the guidelines that okay, each bank should perform all these four things, but RBI didn't tell them okay how you should accept deposit, how much amount you can, what are the rules and regulation for withdrawal, how much you can allow to withdrawal, or how much is going to be your rate of interest, how you are going to calculate it, what are the different factors while you provide the interest, and some different implementation. The point to tell here is RBI has just told you that okay, you want to perform these functionalities since you are following all the RBI regulations, whereas it's duty of State Bank of India, Axis Bank, and ICICI Bank to implement all these functions, right? So my SBI should implement this deposit. Okay, SBI should implement deposit. Okay, and it should now give the internal details like okay, where how much deposit to accept, and from where to accept, and some different things, right? So it's up to SBI how to implement this particular process, right? The similar withdrawal process, it's up to SBI how they implement this withdrawal process, right? So it's for different banks, they will be implementing these processes in different way, but overall the name of the process is same, that is deposit process, withdrawal process, interest process, and FD process, right? So that's the concept over here is abstraction. Okay, so the Java abstract class is used to provide the common method implementation to all subclasses, right? So these are the common methods. I just told RBI just told that okay, you should need these four methods: deposit, withdrawal, interest, and FD. Now it's up to you how you are going to implement them. Okay, so that's what the concept of abstraction is. I'll demonstrate this with examples, do not worry, but overall concept is you are hiding the implementation details. So now what I'll do is whatever RBI is providing, I will whatever RBI is providing, I will create this inside a abstract class. or I can even create it inside a interface. Okay, why interface I'll tell you, but for now we can just say, okay, I can just create all these things inside a abstract class, because abstract class is to hide the implementation detail. I don't want to provide any implementation details, I just want to provide the methods. Okay, you should have these many methods. Okay, whereas it's up to the subclasses who are calling this, who are following this RBI, it's up to them how to implement those processes, how to implement those classes, right? So that's what the last statement is. Java abstract class is used to provide a common methods. So all these are my common methods which I am providing. Common method. uh, Java abstract class is used to provide a common method implementation to all subclasses or to provide default implementation. Okay, and it creates a boundary in between your application and client program. So now my RBI don't know what and all they are following, but what and all they have inside their uh, process, how they are following it, right? But I just know that okay, they are following my regulations, they are doing these things, right? That's what the process of abstraction is, right? So in abstract class I'll just create some methods, and in those methods I'll not be having any implementation, whereas wherever I am calling this RBI class, my all other subclasses will be implementing this specific class. Okay, I'll demonstrate this practically in Java, do not worry. Okay, so how to implement abstraction in ops? An object contains some properties and methods. We cannot hide them from outer world. Okay, so this thing you will understand, do not worry. I'll demonstrate this first and then I'll come to that. So let us create one class. Sorry. Okay, so I'll create one class called as abstraction1, or I'll call simply abs1. Okay, and I'll click on finish. Now I want to create abstract class. And why I want to create abstract class? Because I want to hide implementation details. Okay, and I just want to provide uh, method. I just want to provide method. Okay, so how this is achieved in Java, that is with the help of abstract classes. Okay, so what I can do is I can simply create some classes like, okay, public void, what is my first class? My first class here I mentioned is deposit. Okay, and I should not write any body. Okay, but for now let us write the body. Then I will have another method called as public void withdrawal, and next method I have is interest. Okay, so I have created three methods, let us say, and what I'm saying is these methods should not provide any implementation details. So these are just the methods. Okay, so I should remove this curly brace over here and I should give directly semicolon like this, right? But if I do, what it says is, it says the method require body instead of semicolon, or it is giving you two suggestions: either add the body or change the method to abstract, right? So what I'll do is, instead of writing over here public, I'll simply write or I can change it from here, right? So if I hover my mouse, it asks me to change it as abstract. Right now my method is abstract, right? And it is again, see, understand the things. First I just removed the method body, right? So once I removed the method body, now it is asking me to make this method as abstract. Okay, so can you see, now I made this method as abstract by adding this abstract keyword, but still I am getting the error. And now what the error says, it says the abstract method deposit is only defined in abstract class. So it says in order to use abstract classes, sorry, abstract methods, you should have abstract class. So I should define this abs class as abstract, right? So it gives me the suggestion, make it as abstract, and I'm making it as abstract, and now you see the error is gone, right? So I can create abstract methods like this without any body. The methods are called as your abstract methods. method without body are your abstract methods. Okay, and in order to use abstract, in order to create abstract methods, you should use abstract keyword, right? And if in your class, if you have any abstract method, either one abstract method, then you should change the class as abstract. Okay, you have to use this abstract keyword in your class as well. Okay, so now let us say I'm removing body of this method as well, and I'm removing body of this method as well. Okay, and now I need to change all the methods to abstract. Class I already changed to abstract, and now I'm just changing these method to abstract. And now let us say I just want to create one more method, public void welcome to all, let us say. And now here I'm giving some implementation details, and my implementation details are welcome to everyone. Welcome to everyone. Okay, so let us say now the point to remember here is in my abstract class. See, what is abstract class? Abstract class will contain abstract methods, abstract and non-abstract methods. So here you must have seen I have three abstract method and I have fourth as a non-abstract method, right? So abstract method means a method which do not have any body. The method is hiding its implementation detail, or instead of hiding, we will say method is not providing any implementation detail. It is just providing me the body, the method name basically. Okay, and non-abstract method called as concrete methods, right? Concrete method means they are providing the implementation detail. It is having some text. It is having something into its method body, right? So that's my concrete class, concrete method. Any question till this? So the point to remember is abstract class can have abstract plus concrete or non-abstract method. Okay, and one more thing to remember is abstract method can have main method. Okay, so like I should say abstract class should have main method. So like how we have main method in other classes, we can have main method here as well, and I can simply execute my main method. Okay, so if I execute it, I should be able to execute my abstract class and it prints main method, right? So this is one more point. Abstract class can have main method. Okay, though we don't need it, but it supports. Okay, what else? uh okay, now the question is how to implement, how to so here I have created three abstract method and how to implement these methods, right? So let us see how to implement abstract method. I'll create new class as, I'll call it as abs implementation. Okay, and okay, so I have something like class ABS implementation and I'll write main method, and now what I'll try here is I will try to create the object of this abstract method, abstract class. Okay, so I'll write ABS1, AB is equal to new ABS1 and abs1 and something like this. Okay, now is it allowing me? No, it is throwing me an error. What the error is, we cannot instantiate the type as abs1. What this mean is, it means we cannot instantiate abstract classes, right? So if I cannot instantiate abstract classes, how to use them, right? So in order to use the abstract classes, we need to extend them, right? So since I cannot use something like this, what I can do is I can use extends keyword, extends abs1. Okay, and if I do something like this, give me a second. Okay, so if when I wrote extend and abs1, now JVM has identified, not JVM, compiler has identified that okay, this abs1 is a abstract class, so it is throwing me an error, and the error is the ABS implementation must implement the inherited abstract method. So what it is saying is this ABS1 here is having some abstract methods. Abstract method means unimplemented methods, right? So I should implement those unimplemented methods. So it is saying me add unimplement add unimplemented methods, or it is giving me another suggestion, make the type as abstract. So I can either change the this particular class as abstract, and this will not throw me an error because I'm extending abstract class from abstract class. So there is no need to implement the details because again I'm calling it from abstract class, but I'm not calling it from abstract class. I'm calling it from normal class where I want to provide the implementation. So we need to provide the implementation details. So if you just click on this add unimplemented methods, so now it will ask you to add the details for all unimplemented methods. Okay, so I'll just simply add one print statement. Okay, implementation from let us say Axis Bank. Okay, something like this. Okay, so I can add some implementation, my own implementation into this specific classes. Now let us say if SBI is calling, SBI can add its own implementation to achieve this process. Okay, so and now I can use this specific class. Right now I can create my I cannot create the instance of the abstract class, right? So I wasn't able to use these abstract methods, but now this is not my abstract method, so I can create the object of my current class, that is abstract abs implementation. Ab is equal to new abs implementation, and now I should be able to access all the methods, that is deposit, ab dot interest, and what else I have, ab dot withdrawal. Right now I am able to access, and now if I execute this, I'm getting whatever I have provided, the implementation from Axis Bank, right? So the point here is we are going to just giving the method names, that is kind of here you can say we are just kind of providing the regulations. Okay, you should follow this, you should have these methods. Okay, what these methods are doing, that is also clear. Deposit method should accept the money, it should accept money from any branch, and whatever withdrawal should let people to collect the money, people can collect money from anywhere. They should withdraw up to only 10,000 or something like that. They have their own rules. Okay, but how these methods are implemented, how these rules are followed, in which way, that's up to the implementing banks, right? So that's how we can so that's how we have created abstract methods just with the method names, and then we implemented them using extends keyword, because I cannot directly create object of this class because they are not having body, right? These methods are not having body, so what's the point in instantiating them if they do not have body? First I need to implement them, and then only I can create their objects, right? So I have implemented. There are few more points. There are two things basically. There are two types of abstraction: data abstraction and process abstraction. Okay, so whatever we talked till now is the process abstraction. We are hiding the process of implementation. That's what my process abstraction is. Okay, and what is data abstraction now? Data abstraction is something like, okay, so ideally, so what Java developer do, okay, not we do, but what Java developer do, I'll take this example only. Whenever Java developer writes some code, what he does is, let us say I define some method int age and int salary. I define some methods like this, right? And then I use them in some methods. Okay, but when Java developer creates this kind of methods, what he does is he creates these methods as private. okay, and okay, private int and private int salary. Okay, so this is how a Java developer write it as a private, and when it is private, that means private means accessible to class only, not accessible outside. By default, if I am not writing it private, by default they are public, so anyone can access it, right? But when I'm writing a real-time application in Java, so see two things. When Java developer code, that's the real-time application which is going to be used by external users, right? But my test automation framework is not going to be used anywhere externally, right? My test automation framework is just internal to my project, my team, right? So in test automation, we do not need anything to be private and all, because no one is going to hack my test automation framework, and I don't worry if anyone hack my test automation framework. It is just for testing some application, right? But in real time, if Java developer develops some application, he should be very much cautious about defining the type of the variable. They should not be accessed from anyone from outside or something like that, right? So they should define the variables, each variable as a private one, and then if it is private, then how to initialize them. It is, if it is private, then what we can do is we have something called as getters and setters. I don't, yeah, so here it should be, yeah, so we have something called as generate getters and setters. So if we click something like getters and setters, okay, so what we do is, normally if I don't use this getters and setters, we directly retrieve the value of this age, right? We something print the value of age, right? But in order to get the value of age, now onwards we will be using this method called as get age. In order to set the value to age, in order to assign the value to age, we will be assign set age, right? So this is how the Java developer works, right? And this whole process is called as data abstraction. The whole process is called as data abstraction. What's the data abstraction is, when the object data is not visible to outer world, it creates data abstraction. We are not making this data, that is this int age and int salary, visible to the outer world, right? We are making it as a private. That means we are making data abstraction, right? Access the objects data provided through some methods which are called as getters and setter methods, and this is also called as encapsulation. Okay, so encapsulation is again one of the topic in object oriented programming concepts. Okay, so we will be talking about this encapsulation separately. Okay, but encapsulation is again a type of type of abstraction called as data abstraction, and this is how we achieve data abstraction: define all our objects as a private and access them through getters and setters, so that they are not visible to the outer world. Okay, so do not worry, we'll be talking about this abstraction, and frankly